Ever feel like your money just has a mind of its own, like it just disappears? Well, you're not alone. And in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can finally take back the wheel. We'll look at a really clear plan and some simple, powerful tools that put you right back in the driver's seat of your own finances. So let's get started.
Yeah, this is a feeling so many of us know, right? It's that moment when you look at your bank statement and just think, where did it all go? It feels chaotic, maybe even a little overwhelming. But the good news is, there's a really straightforward way to rein it all back in.
So, to get that control, we have to talk about our most powerful tool, the budget. I know. The word budget can sound kind of scary, right? Like it's all about restriction. But really, the whole idea is way simpler than you think. It really just comes down to understanding two different but connected parts of the process.
Okay, so this is absolutely key. There's a huge difference between having a budget, the noun, and the act of to budget, which is the verb. See, having a budget is just the plan. It's the map. But to budget, well, that's the action. That's you actually driving the car and following the map. You absolutely need both to get where you want to go.
So the big question is, where do you even begin? How do you go from that feeling of financial chaos to real clarity? Well, it's actually easier than you'd think. It all boils down to a simple, actionable three-step plan. Let's break it down.
And here they are. It's a pretty brilliant roadmap, actually. Step 1, you just have to know what you're working with. What's your total income? Step 2, you have to become a detective for a little while. Track everything you spend for a couple of months. And then, step 3, you use that information to make smart choices, focusing on the stuff you can actually change. Like how many times you eat out, not the things you can't, like your rent.
All right, let's keep building on this. Huge part of feeling in control of anything is just knowing the language, right? Once you get what these key terms actually mean, they stop being intimidating and they just become tools that you can use with confidence. So, household income. It's pretty straightforward. But the key thing to remember here is that it's the combined total. It's not just one person's salary, it's all the money earned by everyone living under that one roof. That's the total pot of money you have to work with every month. And then you have expenditures. Basically, this is just a fancy word for everything the money goes out on. It's the other side of the coin from income. Your rent, your mortgage, car payments, groceries, Netflix, all of that stuff, those are your expenditures.
Now this is the magic word right here. To allocate. This is the action part we were talking about. It means giving every single one of your dollars a specific job to do. You are actively deciding, okay, you're going to savings, you're going to groceries, you're going to the car payment. It's about being intentional, not just wondering where it all went.
Okay, and it also helps to kind of zoom out for a second and see the bigger picture. Things like an economic downturn could mean your income goes down, which forces you to be a little more careful with your budget. On the flip side, an economic boom might bring new opportunities. Knowing these big trends just gives you some context for what's happening in your own wallet.
Now, here's what's really cool. Most of us, we actually learned this fundamental skill, budgeting, way back when we were kids. We just didn't call it that. It all goes back to a very simple, very powerful concept, the weekly allowance.
Just imagine, you're a kid again, and this is it. This is your entire world of money for the whole week, $10. It's not a lot, right? And that's exactly why it's such a perfect learning tool, because when your resources are that limited, you are forced to think and to choose very, very carefully.
And boom, there it is. This is budgeting in its purest form. With that $10, you have to allocate. You have to make choices. Can I get the movie ticket and the slice of pizza? Maybe not. Should I maybe save a couple bucks for that video game I really want? You are actively deciding where every single dollar goes. That is budgeting.
And that really is the big question, isn't it? Because the skill is exactly the same. The process of looking at what comes in, tracking what goes out, and then telling the rest where to go, that doesn't change whether you're working with $10 or $10,000. The truth is, you already know how to do this. It's just about taking that same simple logic and applying it to your life today.